As you can see, I've done quite a bit of trimming. I got my new favorite tool over here. It's a plasma torch. So I started trimming out this side over here. So from here on the car to the other side is about 60 3/4 inches, give or take. And the truck is about 61 1/4, which puts it about, comes in about 1/4 inch on each side in order to get the cab to fit down over at the top. Now on the bottom, the cab bells out to about a 64 inch side to side on the inside of the rockers. So where it gets down here, I've got a mark on the inside there, so I'll get that trimmed out. So I was hoping to keep this support, but it looks like I'm going to have to either cut it out or trim it down. It's definitely going to have to be cut in order to get the truck in there. Unless I cut the truck, we'll just have to see once I get to that point. But I wanted to give you an idea on where I cut. And my idea so far is I want to see if I can keep this hole right here for the air conditioner intake. I see a lot of people have been routing some things up underneath the bottom to use the truck and in part of the car to try to make the air intake work. But what I want to do is I want to see if I can actually use all the pieces for the car to make everything work. And that way I can put the insulation back up under the firewall, put everything back the way it was, and try to keep everything quiet. One of my goals for this project, as I mentioned at one point before, is to make this a super quiet ride. Except when I want it to be loud. I want it to be able to push the gas pedal down or turn the stereo up and make it loud. So you can see where I made those cuts. The line is still there. I still got to do some trimming, but what I'm going to do next is I'll wheel this out. Well, after I cut the rest of the back off, I'm going to go ahead and take the fuel tank off for now, take this back part of the floor off, and get the cab ready to sit on here. But then the chassis is going to roll out, and then I'm going to bring the cab in and let it rest on the lift so that I can get it leveled up, the angle that I want, and then I can just hit a button and let it go up and down, because I figure it's going to take about probably 15 to 20 tries in order to get this thing trimmed up. Because what I'd like to do is get it to sit on this firewall with a very close tolerance, so I might as well take my time and make it right so that I can just weld it up and make it look great. That's where I stand right now. I'm going to go ahead and trim off a lot of that A-pillar just to clean it up a little bit. I left this tray right here so that I have a place to put all these wires. We could zip tie them up here, keep them out of sight. I'm gonna have enough to deal with as far as HVAC system, so I've got to come up with a creative way to cover that up and make it look good. Have to pull on some of my 25, 30-year-old experience in the body shop business, and I was doing some custom stuff. But I've got a shop full of tools and some time on my hands occasionally, so we'll see what I can get done. area right here is pretty much the lowest point of resistance for the car. There's no double plate or anything like that, so made it an easy first cut. I'm going to cut it back on the hump a little bit, get this trunk out, and we'll take the fuel tank off next. Alright, so if you're following along, what I did was I cut right on the corner, and I just had to cut out to get access to this little C channel, and I was able to get in there and just cut it pretty easily. I'll tell you what, this is turned out to be a little easier than I thought it was going to be. Still need to work on getting the fuel tank off, so that's the next step. This has been pretty easy. So it took about an hour. I went ahead and left the fuel tank on. I just strapped it on. I went ahead and chopped the rest of the A-pillar off. Got all that cleaned up. So, oh, we are ready for the cab. So when I was cutting the body apart, one thing I thought was stupid is that I could not find a plug for the fuel pump. So I just went ahead and put one of these in, and I started chasing it down underneath the body and find a plug, of course. There was no way I was going to be able to get to that until I cut the body off. It is what it is. I'll either not worry about it. Got a little toasty, so I'm going to have to go through the wires to make sure that everything is good, but maybe I'll just leave it as is, since I already fired it up and made sure that everything worked.